Hello everyone! With Mother's Day coming up, I thought it was a good time to finally get this book that I've had on my list out of the library. And since I had it, I thought I would tell you about it. It's Mom in the Movies, the iconic screen mothers you love and a few you love to hate. It's a publication in collaboration with Turner Classic Movies, written by Richard Corliss, who was a film critic for Time magazine. Quite simply, it's a book highlighting various screen moms. It is exactly what it sounds like. It also has a foreword by mother-daughter pair Debbie Reynolds and Carrie Fisher, along with brief contributions from folks like Jane Powell, Eva Marie Saint, Sam Robards, Ileana Douglas, and Tippi Hedren, all good friends of Turner Classic Movies. It's an attractive-looking book for classic film fans and film book collectors. It's very sturdy, the quality is nice, it contains lots and lots of high-quality photos in black and white or in color, depending on what the movie is. And it's printed on thick, glossy paper. I would hold it up and turn the pages for you, but I've already tried doing that a few times, and I don't think you can see anything. It is pretty heavy. It's a good size for holding on your lap or laying on a table, but it's awkward to hold it up like this. Content-wise, it's a fine survey of a very specific topic. Each chapter focuses on a different handful of films, grouping them by various criteria like silent moms, the mother martyrs of pre-code, a gallery of golden age moms, malevolent moms, crime and horror moms, sci-fi moms. Corliss examines mothers in serial films. He talks about the mothers of bad seeds, and of course, that includes a discussion of the bad seed. And he also includes mom-adjacent characters like aunts, mammies and nannies, as well as stepmoms, adoptive moms, etc. It's an easy read, not bloated with details, but covering the spotlighted films in a way that is both concise and comprehensive. I wouldn't call it objective. Corliss isn't reviewing the films he brings up, but his commentary does occasionally use some critical language. But he never claims that he's going to discuss his topic without bias or subjectivity, and I don't mention this as a mark against Corliss. I don't blame him for not staying 100% objective. Honestly, I'm not sure that there is such a thing as true objective film criticism. Certainly none of my reviews are objective, and I assume everyone knows that. In his introduction, Corliss laments that in the last quarter century, significant traditional maternal figures have almost disappeared from the movie landscape. He offers a few possible explanations for why that is, and I guess I more or less agree with his three-tier hypothesis. I would add, though, that good fathers have also been in short supply. All too often, dads are absentee, or they're jerks, or they're just fools. We see it in movies, we see it in TV, we see it all over the place in commercials in the last few decades. It's like the only way to empower wives and mothers is by making husbands and fathers look like idiots. That's not equality. That's another tangent we could go off on. We're not going to. I did start to take notes, writing down movies he mentioned that I wanted to check out, but it turned out that many of them are films I have already had on my watch list that I've been meaning to watch for years and I just haven't gotten to yet. So there wasn't a lot here that was new to me, but it was a good refresher. At some point around the middle, though, I started to get kind of bored. There were more sections about movies that I hadn't seen and wasn't really interested in seeing, and also, this isn't the kind of book you're supposed to just plow through. You shouldn't read it the way I did. I don't choose to read many books about movies, especially where it's just someone else's summary and analysis without any behind-the-scenes input. I would rather just watch the movie myself and form my own opinion. And if the analysis starts going on and on about Freudian psychology and overdoing it with symbolism, Really not into that. There wasn't too much of that in this book. There was a little bit. There were a couple passages where I started rolling my eyes. There was quite a few relationships that are borderline incestuous. There's some talk of Oedipal complexes. So, yeah, there is some of that. Anyway, I didn't read the second half of the book as closely as I read the first, partly because I was getting restless and I wanted to be done with it and I wanted to move on to my other library book, and partly because I didn't feel compelled to read every word when the films covered were ones I wasn't familiar with and wasn't interested in. I basically skimmed the last 4 chapters. I looked at the pictures and I scanned the pages, but I didn't feel the need to pore over every commentary. So my assessment of the book itself is that it's okay. It's best as something you pick up, flip through, look at the pictures, read about a few films, and then set aside to pick up again another day, rinse and repeat. You can get a lot of good recommendations out of it. Corliss covers a lot of titles and a lot of types of movies. There's tons of variation in the tone and maternal characterization in these movies. And while he talks about some of the more obvious screen moms, he talks in equal measure about lesser known moms, touching on some I hadn't heard of or had forgotten about. It is a fun idea for a topic. I definitely like the wholesome mothers more than the wicked ones, but as Corliss notes, bad mamas can be more entertaining to watch, and for the actresses, more entertaining to play. In the chapter called The Great American Mom, which talks about a few mothers in major 1940s films, Corliss sums up 4 of the mothers as, quote, their children's confessor, coach, and cheerleader. I like that. I would say that description could apply to my own mom. I was going to go on a whole spiel about my mom and how wonderful she is, but the more I thought about it, the more I was like, there's a high probability that I'd get all sappy and emotional, and I know that's the case because it's happened before. I don't know if anybody remembers this, but I got choked up at the end of my review of Stella Dallas, and I just remembered this morning. I gave a speech about my mom in an English class in high school, and it wasn't supposed to be like an emotional thing or even like a really serious thing. But I was up there talking to the class, and all of a sudden I started blubbering, and my classmates and the teacher were just like, so we're not going to do that today. You may wonder which of the many moms covered in this book most reminds me of my mom, and the answer is none, because she's one of a kind, and I'm glad I'm doing such a short video that requires less editing than usual, because that means I can spend the rest of the weekend with her. It's a fine book if you're a cinephile or a collector of books about films, or you're really into the subject, but as something to read, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know any thoughts you have in the comments below, and I'll be back next week with a proper review of something to be determined. Thanks for watching.